and welcome to this episode of the Corporate Escapists TV show and podcast. I am your host, Christine Innes. I am delighted. We're actually I don't know, I woke up this morning, I'm like going, oh my God, we're going to have so much fun today and have a really great conversation. Donna, welcome to the show, lovely.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, me too. I don't know, like you would probably understand, like you just get that feeling when you first wake up in the morning, you're like going, today's going to be a really great day. So I
Yeah.
know the intention's already been set, so I think this conversation is going to be pretty epic. For those listening, they always know that I get carried away, so I'm just going to stop for a moment. I'm going to let you introduce yourself, and then we're going to dive into some amazing conversation.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Christine. Well, hi everyone. My name's Donna, and I live in the Mornington Peninsula outside of Melbourne, obviously Australia. And I've been doing energy healing work for over 25 years. I always had it sitting there as a hobby, a side hustle of passion, and had a dream to convert that into my actual work. I have two kids, so I'm a mother and have explored all the different aspects of the motherhood journey. And I also have an incredible second business, which is creating luxurious jewellery that activates your soul, activates your energy field. So my whole vibe is about empowering people to switch on their lights and, just people are already on this incredible journey of healing and growth. And I just like propel people along a little bit further.
Yeah, I love that so much because I think like right now, like we're post COVID. I actually feel like we're going through it in a way again. It's almost like there's so much stirring within people right now. Like, there's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
change going on, and people are starting to really, I guess, check in with themselves even more so than what they've ever done before.
I think you're absolutely right, Christine. And I've been talking to so many people about this exact thing, which feels so reminiscent of the times when we were going through the pandemic and all the lockdowns, particularly in Australia and especially Melbourne. But there is this sense of like transition. So
Mm.
many people are at transition points and are asking themselves the question of, am I going to stay on the same path or am I going to change track and follow my heart and follow my soul? And that internal battle and feeling like, drawn one way or the other, but this internal process of really asking some big questions. You're right. I'm seeing that everywhere. I've had it for
Mm.
myself and I'm seeing it in people around me too.
Yeah. And it's really tough. Like, I guess, like you and I have been in that situation where we've now, I always say it's the path less traveled because generally speaking, you're going to be the first or very few people in your family that have actually followed that pathway. So you feel really
Mm-hmm.
lonely going down there. But then you discover this amazing tribe at the end of it. And you're sort of like, oh my God, it was so worth it in the end.
Right. And you also discover an amazing version of yourself. So many, like I've always related to myself as a black sheep of the family, and so have all of my community too.
Mm.
But now I like to call us the psychedelic sheep of the family. Not that I'm into psychedelics, but I think that we are here. We're born into family systems to create change, to heal that past trauma, and to stop those repeating patterns. So our children and their children, our children, grandchildren, and all the generations
Yeah.
moving forward have got a different way of living. And that's really what happened for me when my daughter was born. Was I could feel that her soul was asking me to be everything that I possibly could be, and not just say to her, you can do or be anything, like believe in yourself. I have a
Mm.
son as well, but like to actually be a role model and show
Mm.
them that life can be a very different way, including your career. You can do work that you love and you can make money from work that you do love and you can make an impact and you're making contribution to the world.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like I mean, I went through sort of my journey. Like it all started when I was about 38, I think it was 38, 39. And that was like hitting the rock bottom. But it took quite a few years
Mm.
afterwards, sort of like to discover myself, like to really, find out who I was and I guess really what my pathway was meant for. But now I'm finding that
Yeah.
people are discovering it earlier on, which I think, oh my God,
Mm-hmm.
I wish I had that back then. But we all know that there's obviously a process that you have to go through in life. But are
Yeah.
you finding that too? Like people are discovering that pathway so much more earlier?
I really think that that's right. And I think that's the beauty of our generations evolving is like people who are 10, 15 years younger, or maybe 20 years younger than us, are having these earlier awakenings because they've got parents who have been more in tune emotionally, more in touch spiritually. Like, and so they're growing up in a way that this is actually quite normal. And yeah, so I'm seeing that transition through generations, which is exciting. And of course, that doesn't happen in all families. But you're right, Christine. I think that, you know, you had your transition or awakening, if you like, at 38-ish, and that happens for a lot of people inverted commas midlife. I call it the midlife review. But yeah, I love that people are just doing this and
Yeah.
following their true path earlier and earlier. Yeah.
Yeah. We just lost you for just a little bit there. So um we might just take a little step back. Like obviously we're saying like, finding that pathway earlier. Um, but like what's when you're talking with people, when they're going through, you know, choosing like to be uncomfortable. I guess that's the easiest way to describe it for people. Is like, do you want to stay comfortable with where you're at? Because is that really serving you a purpose right now? Or do you choose to be uncomfortable for a moment? And I always use the words moment because nothing ever lasts forever, you know, because you never know what's on the other side. Like, what are those conversations like when you're having that with your clients?
So I really feel that it's actually about helping people do two things. When we're looking at changing a course of direction, it can feel really scary, right? It can
Yeah.
feel like we're going into the unknown and that we're breaking the mold or the pattern of, the norm of our community, our families, our friends. We're doing
Yeah.
something different. And you're right, it is uncomfortable and it is momentary, but when you're in that before step and you're looking down the barrel of it, it can feel so frightening, right?
Mm.
And so the work that I do with my clients is twofold. It's clear as much fear and heal as much trauma as we can, so you can be like, as you know, so you can be the best version of yourself, basically. It sounds
Yeah.
really cliche, but it's true.
Yeah.
And then, second to that, is that you might still have some fear sitting there. Even after we've done all of that energy clearing work and all of that healing work, you might still have some fear about being it, like stretching out of your comfort zone. And do you know what? You get to be so imperfect and freaking do it anyway. Do you know? Like you get to
Yes.
feel that fear and you get to be really
Yeah.
uncomfortable because if that is what your intuition is guiding you to do,
Yeah.
Christine, what I've found so many times is that when your intuition is asking you to take a particular path, and if you have fear with that guidance, or if you have a sense of resistance with that guidance, I always call that your green light for go. So intuition plus fear or intuition plus resistance, go. Like
Yeah.
do the thing, right? Do the thing that your soul is asking you to do because that is what is actually in your highest, best interest.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And like I guess it's always, I look back on the journey so far. I was like, oh, look at all these amazing opportunities that I've had. If I'd stayed back
Yeah.
where I was, I wouldn't have got to experience that. But also too, seeing the lessons in a different light as well. I mean, I've been really conscious about learning through the lessons. Like you talk about fear and you got to go through it. But when you go through it, what are you learning from it as well?
Well, that's it. And this is a muscle that we are building, isn't it? A muscle of following our intuition. It takes time.
Mm.
And we can start off with small things until we get to decisions like, I'm going
Yeah.
to leave my job. I finally built up my business, my side hustle enough. We can take a lot of small steps in on that path to really figure out that actually following our intuition works out so well for us. So when we get to that point of big decisions,
Mm.
like we've got this library or bank of evidence that following our intuition works really bloody well. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
get more confident in knowing that our intuition is taking us to exactly where we're meant to be. It might be a very unexpected path, but yeah, that is also one of the benefits, I think, of doing healing work is that in your intuition just naturally switches on. So
Yeah.
when we do all of that clearing out and releasing the trauma and, getting rid of all the burdens that you're carrying,
Mm.
aside from feeling lighter and better and happier, one of the other benefits is bing. It's like all of a sudden, seemingly, your intuition switches on. It's not all of a sudden, and there's a reason for it. You've done all the work that's enabled that to happen, but
Mm.
it's a beautiful process, yeah. And then it is step by step by step by step, because when we've taken those steps and we've ended up in some really unexpectedly amazing places doing unexpectedly amazing things, we can look back and go, oh my gosh, that was because I followed my intuition, and how well did
Yeah.
that work out?
Yeah.
But when you're at the beginning of that, you don't have that evidence. So taking those small steps is really good to build up that intuition muscle and that confidence. And yeah, like it's actually building that trust through taking the action.
Yeah. No,
Because a lot of people
absolutely.
say to me, yeah, like a lot of people say to me, like, how do I trust my intuition, Donna? Like, you follow it, you do the thing, right? You just do the thing
Yeah.
as you said, as uncomfortable as it can be.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I think the more I always say to people now, like, be comfortable with being uncomfortable, because when you are like all cozy, like if you think of like cozy up on a Sunday afternoon in the bed and all that sort of stuff, but if you put yourself into like a really uncomfortable situation, the personal growth that you will get from that as well, it will be a life-changing moment that you'll never be able to sort of discover again.
That is so true, Christine. I liken that process to toddlers. You've got grandchildren, Christine. Toddlers, they'll stay with their mum or their grandma,
Yeah.
and let's talk about it as a mother. But those toddlers, they'll venture out into the world. They'll look back at mum, see if this is all right. They'll have a
Mhm.
play and explore, and when it's time, they'll come back to mum.
Yeah.
It's the same with us. We need to go out of our comfort zone, go and explore the world, and then move back into a place that is comfortable. So we are not like overstimulating our nervous system and freaking ourselves out. We need to have that balance of regulated nervous system, also taking some chances, following our intuition, being uncomfortable, and then regulating again, and having this like back and forth, like being like toddlers and going
Yeah.
exploring the world. Um, and I just, yeah, think that that's a really good way of looking at it.
Yeah, no, I love that. I mean, it was interesting. I was watching my grandson. Like, the youngest one is just learning to walk. He takes a couple of steps up, fall down. And it's almost like we always need to remember that it's okay to fall down because you can get back up. And
Yeah.
one phrase that I learned, and I love it so much, is actually fail forward. Because I don't ever think that we go back when we're like, I never see failure as a bad thing anymore. It's almost like, well, this may not have worked, but the lessons I've learned have allowed me then to project forward to where my end destination is, my end goal.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that that is normal. And, some schools now are teaching kids about adopting a growth mindset, which is
Yeah.
being willing to try things and fail, right? And as you say, I love that falling forward thing because, I've been in business for over 8 years now, and I've made so many mistakes this year, Christine.
Mm.
And I talk to my kids about it's okay to try different things and
Yeah.
always be learning, because every mistake, inverted commas, that I've made, I have learned so much from. Like, no
Yeah.
school, no degree, no,
That's it.
even a coach couldn't teach me that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's always about taking the gold or like looking at the silver lining from the things that we experience so it can propel us to keep moving forward. And, those mistakes I've made this year, I'll never make them again. Like, I
Yeah.
will never make those again. I've learned
Yeah.
exactly what to do next time.
Yeah, absolutely. When you've like, obviously, if you look back now, and obviously there may have been some conversations you've either had with yourself or other people about starting a business. If you could go back to that moment, what would you say to yourself about, taking the leap to actually start a business?
I'd say, oh, baby girl, go for it, because this
Yeah.
is going to work out so much better
Yeah.
than you can even imagine. And that little idea that you have, that twinkle in your eye, is so bang on. Don't listen to anyone else unless they're encouraging you, and go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. How much have you changed as a person by being in business?
Oh my gosh, Christine, I think that business is one of the most incredible self-development tools there is, full stop.
Yeah.
Like, I have changed so much. I'm so much more willing to grow. I'm calmer. I'm more open. I'm clearer. I'm happier. I'm like got so much more fulfillment, and that is, you could liken my business to a healing journey.
Yeah. Yeah. I look, I
Mm.
agree. I said that to all my clients as well. I said, if you don't go work with a personal development coach, like, even though I am one, but like, honestly, go and start a business, because you're going to learn more about yourself than what you ever thought. There's so many different layers to it. Well, I look, as I said, I love what you're doing. How can people work with you? What are sort of the different modalities, or, the programs that you offer with people as well?
Thanks, Christine. So I have a beautiful course called Soul Radiance. It's a deep dive healing program where we clear ancestral trauma. We help you connect with your intuition. I teach you how to clear your energy and always be connected to the light, how to develop loving relationships, like all the things. And then, so that's really through my healing work. And then, with my custom made for your soul jewelry business, I obviously create incredible jewelry. So people could come and have a free energy reading with me. I read people's energy field and tell them what kind of gemstones would be the perfect fit for them. And then on the other hand, if you're interested in my healing work, you can book a free conversation with me, and we'll just have a genuine chat about where you're at and how I can help you move into that place of being connected with your intuition and feeling clear and light.
Oh, I love it so much. And we're going to drop all the details below of how people can reach out to you. As I said, I love what you're doing. I think it's so needed in this world. And I think by people working with someone like yourself, it also helps, fast forward the process, but also working with somebody who's been through it as well is so essential.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure to be here with you.
Oh, my absolute pleasure. Before you go, I've got 5 questions that we've been asking all of our guests
Of
on the
course.
show. So the first question I'd love to know is, are you a tea or coffee person in the morning?
A herbal tea only sometimes.
Yeah,
I know.
okay.
I'm a Melburnian and don't drink
Yeah,
coffee.
I was
Ooh.
gonna say, oh my goodness. It's like, do not talk to me, and the dog doesn't even look at me before I've had a coffee in the morning. So
I'm
and yeah.
occasional chai too.
Yeah, no, yeah, yeah, I've been switching to a lot, but yeah, I only discovered caffeine probably about 5, 6 years ago. So yeah, no, and now I don't live without it. If you had some spare time and you could cozy up, would you prefer to watch a movie or to read a book?
At this point in my life, movie.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
I get it. Fast forward it all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And if you go on a beautiful destination, would you prefer to travel by boat or plane?
Fine.
Yeah.
Because I want to go far and I want to get there fast.
Yeah, I love that. I love that so much. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, give me the short route with anything in my life and I'll take it. Yep.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And if you could have you're gonna have a beautiful dinner party and you're allowed to invite one guest from either the past or the present, who would it be?
My nana.
Yeah.
She died
Oh,
when I was 8, and I would just love to, oh gosh, I can, all the feels,
yeah.
and I would just love to spend some more time with her.
Yeah, that would be, oh, that would just be so beautiful. And you just like, there's so much wisdom that you can learn from your grandparents as well. So yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And if you could describe yourself in one word, what would that be?
Radiant.
Oh, I love that. Oh, I love that
Mm.
so much. Oh, I feel that with you. Absolutely. I think you light people up. I think that's actually what you're here to do, is just to light people up, to show them this beautiful light within them. So that's what I'm getting from you. And I obviously that's why you do the work that you do. So I think you're amazing, as I
Thank you
said,
so
in what
much.
you're doing. And yeah, just absolutely loved, having this time with you. We're going to pop all the details of how you can reach out to Donna below. If you want to be able to have those conversations with her, even look at her beautiful jewelry, go ahead and follow all of that on the website. Donna, thank you so much for being here, beautiful.
Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure. And for all of you watching this episode, if you have loved it, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. If you've got any comments, leave them below, and stay tuned for another episode next week. And remember to live life to the fullest every single day. Love and light to you all.